The room falls quiet when the little girl's small voice rings out, clear and innocent, calling the powerful CEO mommy. At first, she thinks she misheard it. She freezes, her confident composure cracking just enough to reveal surprise in her eyes. No one has ever called her that before. Not in boardrooms filled with executives. Not in a life built on control, ambition, and carefully guarded distance. Yet here, in this ordinary moment, a single word carries extraordinary weight. Trying to steady herself, the CEO turns to the single father, half smiling but visibly shaken. "Why does your daughter call me mommy?" she asks, expecting an awkward explanation or a quick correction. Instead, the question lingers in the air, heavier than she imagined. It stirs something she hasn't felt in years, an unfamiliar warmth mixed with a quiet ache she never allowed herself to acknowledge. The little girl, unaware of the tension, clings to the CEO's hand, as if it's the most natural thing in the world. In her eyes, there is trust, comfort, and safety. That silent connection speaks louder than words. It hints at moments the CEO didn't even realize mattered, reading a bedtime story, fixing a scraped knee, listening when no one else did. Small acts of kindness that slowly filled a space the child didn't know was empty. What began as a simple, unexpected question becomes a turning point. It opens the door to buried emotions, unspoken bonds, and the realization that love doesn't always arrive loudly. Sometimes it slips in quietly through a child's voice and changes everything before you're ready. Asterisk for a moment, the single dad doesn't speak. He looks at his daughter, then back at the CEO, as if weighing whether he should protect the past or finally tell the truth. His voice is calm when he answers, but there's a depth to it that stops her cold. Because, to her, you already are, he says softly. He explains that her real mother passed away when she was very young, leaving behind a silence no one knew how to fill for years. His daughter asked questions he struggled to answer, questions about bedtime hugs, school events, and why other children had someone to run to. He did his best, but some spaces can't be filled alone. Then, unexpectedly, the CEO entered their lives. He tells her how his daughter began talking about her at home, long before that day. How she'd mentioned her kindness, the way she listened, the way she never treated her like an obligation or a burden. Without trying, the CEO had become a safe place. Someone who showed up consistently, not with grand gestures, but with patience, warmth, and genuine care. As he speaks, the CEO feels her throat tighten. She realizes she hadn't just been helping a struggling father or being polite to a child. She had been healing something broken, without even knowing it. The dad admits that he never corrected his daughter because he didn't want to take away the one name that made her feel whole again. His honesty lands like a quiet storm. In that moment, the CEO understands that her presence has already changed their lives, and now, the question is whether she's ready to accept the role her heart has already stepped into. Asterisk, the CEO stands there in silence, unable to find the right words. For the first time in her life, success offers her no script, no strategy, no prepared response. The little girl's hand is still wrapped around hers, warm and trusting, while the single dad's honest words echo in her mind. In that quiet space, something shifts. She realizes this moment isn't asking her to decide anything, it's simply revealing what already exists. All her life, she believed family was defined by bloodlines, legal papers, and carefully drawn boundaries. She built her world on independence, convinced that emotional distance was the price of strength. Yet standing here, she understands how wrong she was. Family, she realizes, is built in the moments no one applauds, the late-night talks, the gentle reassurances, the simple act of showing up again and again. She thinks about how naturally the child leaned into her, how effortlessly trust formed between them. It wasn't planned. It wasn't forced. It grew quietly like roots beneath the surface, strengthening over time. And somehow, without noticing, she had become part of their everyday world, not as an outsider, but as someone who mattered deeply. As her eyes meet the single dad's, there is no pressure in his gaze, only gratitude and understanding. He isn't asking her to replace anyone. He's acknowledging the bond that already connects them. In that moment, she feels a warmth she has never experienced in boardrooms or achievements, a sense of belonging that no title ever gave her. The CEO finally understands. Family isn't about who you're born to. It's about who chooses to stay, who loves without obligation, and who becomes home without even trying. And as the little girl squeezes her hand and smiles, she knows her life will never be the same again.